Welcome everyone to our live stream here on lichess and Twitch. International Master William Pascal. We're doing our subscriber stream with game analysis, maybe some games in the arena, in the All-Star Arena with my Hungarian friends. So lots of action for tonight. Instructive game analysis and maybe some blitz with strong players. You guys can watch me suffer. I think we'll just play a few games here and there, not the whole arena like last. What I did last time was join the arena at 8 o'clock and then play a game or two, then go back, analyze a game. What's up, someone on sound? Welcome to the stream. Asterbait's here, of course. Moobot's in the house. Someone on sound, thanks for joining me. How are things with you? In the great state of Texas, Mr. Slowhand, welcome. Mr. Slow is in the list. I'm trying to size my windows here. Here's a funny quote by an NM. When I was young, Botvinnik was my hero. Chess cannot be taught. Chess can only be learned. Mikhail Botvinnik. I don't know. Interesting concept. Mr. Slow, welcome to the stream. We've got games from Princess Chess, Mr. Slowhand, Asterbait, El Rosador, and I think we've got room for some more. I didn't intend on playing the whole All-Star Arena like I've done in the past, maybe like a couple games, so we should be able to do some more games beyond those 4. Maybe not 10, but maybe 6 or 7 or 8 games tonight for game analysis. So if you guys are subscribers to the stream, which I hope you are, now Mr. Slowhand is reminding me of my mom before she passed away. She used to say, the older I get, the less I know. I don't know if my mom made it up, but if she did, she's a genius. I never heard anyone else say that exactly, but I guess it's probably not new. I've got a new beverage here. Chestnut, welcome. My home delivery shopping website gave me a free sample of Dreyer cherry beer, basically. So Hungarian cherry flavored beer. It's an interesting experience. I can't say it's bad. Nice and refreshing for the summer. So that's something new. I'm drinking as we speak. Too hot for coffee. Mr. Sohan, 500 bits. Older you get, the less heroes are needed. Another way of saying what my mom said. In a sense. We've got a submission here from Xerox. Alright, we will do that. Xerox is in. Xerox always submitting something cool. So Princess Chess, Mr. Slow, Asterbait, El Rosador, and Xerox. And Mr. Slowhand with a donation, 500 bits. Guys, feel free to give some subs, donate. You can make a Streamlabs donation like Mr. Someone on Sound would do. Mr. Slowhand grind this week with 1,000 bits. Baron Zen Knight with 550. Agnes Karadusky was 380. Let me see if anyone else has dared to donate. But my Twitch is just too slow. Alright, never mind. Alright guys, I'm just collecting myself here. It's very, very hot, uncomfortable. It may look normal, but I feel very uncomfortable. It's like sticky and humid, and it's like 90 degrees in my office. I look like everything's fine, but actually I'm sort of like suffocating here. We'll try to manage to get through it. You drink your beer clean. So this is, yeah, it's like a soft drink. It's pretty good, actually. It has a good taste. Cherry flavored beer. Maybe it's not really beer. It's more like a cider. I'm not really clear on what it is exactly. Sounds awful. Xerox, George Meyer game. Alright. George Meyer games. Very tight player. Reminds me of like Kramnik wannabe. But I like him. Alright. Princess Chess is the first game. I just have to find it. I've had like millions of messages. Darn. Clicked on the wrong thing. Submitting for analysis stream. Don't send me any personal messages because I'll read them out. Everyone can read them on the stream. Team battle messages. Are you serious? 17-7. That seems correct, actually. Wow, that was 6 days ago. So she submitted this really early. Submitting for analysis game. Another classical time control USCF rated. I took a draw because I was starting to get a massive headache and couldn't focus on thinking about the game. I can understand that. Sam Adams' Cherry Wheat was pretty good. Mr. Coffee, good to see you. How are things? I feel like we haven't talked lately. Talk tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's beer. Like, on the label, it doesn't call itself beer, so... Not really clear what it is. It's called Sladgie Medj. Sladgie is like a name, and Medj is the word for cherries. So I don't know what it is. It might be beer. Whatever, it's pretty good. And refreshing. Haven't gotten up early enough the last few days. Mr. Coffee, you have off from work or something? Furlough? Alright, I'm ready to go. I needed to get my concentration on. So this is Princess Chess Game. Headache battle. With the white bits. Mr. Coffee, you don't work from home, do you? I mean, I had this assumption that you go to work physically. Am I assuming wrong? You don't have to drive to work. Gita B, welcome. Oh, you've been working home since March. I didn't know that. I guess we never really asked you. I just assumed like you had some sort of job where you were able to continue to commute. So that's the homework thing started to make you lazy and sleep in. Dangerous. Alright, so Princess Chess is white. E45, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. This move has grown on me. When I was younger, I thought... I don't know. I remember watching Josh Whiteskin play I remember the tournament I won in 1995, the U.S. Class Championships. I remember watching Josh play, like, bishop c4. Like, nobody played bishop c4 in those days. Everyone played the Spanish in the 90s. With Kasparov and Karpov, like, battling in the World Championship. In the Roy Lopez. Like, remember how thinking it was so strange how this prodigy Waitskin would play the Joko piano. But this move has become, it's become almost more popular in the Spanish these days because of two things. Just a little off-topic note, you know, the Berlin defense is the first problem and the Marshall is the other. So a lot of people who used to play the Spanish are switching over to bishop c4. If you're gonna play stuff like, for example, bishop e5, knight f6, if it's gonna come to the point where we're playing like d3, my reasoning is that, like, why play bishop e5 at all? I mean, if we're gonna play quietly with d3, we might as well have the bishop on the c4 diagonal in that case. So it's interesting philosophical discussion. Bishop c4. I don't know Princess Chess repertoire that well. Bishop c5 I also think is best. The Roy Lopez it's more interesting, I think. It's richer. Swayton had a really great book that I think should be republished but never was, called The Modern Chess Opening Theory. And he basically considered the Spanish, he was an expert on the Spanish, Soviet Grandmaster Alexei Swayton. He considered the Spanish to be like the most important opening to understand for chess theory. I think he might be right. You know, very, very sophisticated, closed positions. In most cases, like very rich. Bishop c4 is more direct. I think not quite as rich. But anyway, like after knight f6, knight g5, it's crazy in caveman. But most people are playing d3. You know, this is the recommended repertoire. Same thing against bishop c5. So, here you castled, but I think you're in the minority. Um, Xerox says, I don't understand the Berlin Spanish. It seems way too passive for black. Well, I guess when you play strong enough players, like a draw with black starts to be a good result. That's the point where you start playing the Berlin. But Miles used to play it for a win. Yeah, but if you play like the Berlin for a win, you have to be like an endgame wizard, basically. The first players I knew who played it were Alex Scherzer and Tony Miles. They were using it regularly in the 90s. Then later it became very trendy. But you didn't see it at the top levels. Speaking of Alexei Swayton, I was telling someone last week, I remember a game in the 90s in Hastings where I'd never seen anyone do that, but he actually played with black. Bishop e5, knight f6, castles, knight takes e4, d4, bishop takes c6, sorry, d4, knight d6, bishop c6. It was like the Hastings Challengers, and I saw Swayton play this as like one of his last tournaments before he died, probably. He actually played like pawn takes pawn, knight b7. If you want to play like for a win with the Berlin defense, Xerox, maybe you should like look into this variation, though it looks like it's very dubious according to theory. I think Lasker actually played this for black, but it looks like it's just bad. That's crazy though. Look at the engine. We're off topic here from the game in question, but sorry. I guess it's really crazy. The computer is giving knight d4 plus 1.4, and there's only one game. It's a J game from 1993. Immediately the engine dropping down to 0.9. J versus Maurice. That's around the time when I played Maurice for the first time. He was an IM. He got the IM title around that time. But it's funny, the computer just dropped down to 0.4. So who trusts Stockfish? Maybe this variation is cool. Rossador, what's up? Anyway, we're looking at a different opening here. Bishop c4, bishop c5. So, Princess Chess, I think, I don't know. What's the advantage in castling versus c3 here? I feel like c3 forces black to play knight f6. Then we have a choice between d4 and more likely d3. But I never really thought about it, to be honest. Like, is there an advantage or is there a benefit that we're looking for in castling versus c3 for white there? By the way, I don't really think the Marshall poses a lot. I don't think that the Evans poses a lot of problems. It looks like the Evans is in trouble, honestly. Like on Chess 24, it's recommended to play this variation. d4, e takes d4, not necessary. Just play like d6, queen b3, and queen d7. This variation pretty much, I think, almost puts the Evans out of business. Of course, you have to know your stuff, but I'm not really worried about the Evans if I'm black here. Castles, knight f6, so d3, castles. I'm just wondering if Princess Chess has any reason for her move order. If there's a benefit to castling over c3 of any sort that I'm not aware of. d6, and now bishop b3 is a normal move. She's playing like Acerbate. This is the Acerbate favored variation. I'll go into my spiel about this type of position. And by the way, we should probably stop here and just say, like, there's a lot of different ways that black can play these type of lines. I'm not an authority. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, a6, there's a definite case for this. A lot of people are like afraid they're going to get pinned by bishop g5, but I don't think that's a serious move. So I like a6. I know a5 in the early going is becoming popular. Of course, not yet, because white hasn't even played c3 yet. You're playing c3 at a really late stage here. So here black can play like, I guess you could play like a5. a6 is normal. That would be like main line. White has d4 here. I'm not sure if I like this or not. So d6 is safer than a6. Securing the center. So I don't love this. I think you should play like bishop e3. Probably. This is white's best line. The problem with b4 is that I don't think it does that much, and it kind of weakens your pawns a little bit on the queen side. If black ever gets in d5, then there's going to be a backwardness. And I've seen it happen. Black gets in d5 later, and then you're weak. You have to be very careful that the position doesn't open up, so these pawn moves become weaknesses. If black plays bishop c5, I would not hesitate to play b4. I'm willing to take you on that. Bishop b6. So the bishop is trapped on b6 here. a4, a5 or a6. And then black plays a5. I guess I prefer the traditional a6 myself, but it's a matter of taste. a5 has its own advantages and disadvantages. b5, I swear Asterbait had the same game before. I'm almost 100% sure. What do you think, Asterbait? You had the same exact game. I'm like 100% certain. 97. So this is a variation. And then bishop g5. Polgar versus Carlsen. Yeah, I'm not a big believer in bishop g5, but you can play it and retreat the bishop back to like g3. My concern is that sometimes the bishop ends up completely shut down. This happens to me as white in the queen pawn games in the semi-Slav. If my bishop ends up on g3, I'm going to be very unhappy, and it's going to be hard to get it back into the game. So, but I'm not an authority on this b4, I don't know. It looks like this is more natural. Knight g6, bishop e3. You can go knight c4 perhaps. c6, knight c4. So this is Caruana Nakamura. Black's bishop's able to go back to c7. And then kind of standard moves for both sides. But the bishop g5, I'm not sure I really like that. Anyway, it's playable. So knight g6 now, and knight h4. So you're supposed to play this, I assume. I think that Asterbait had this position before. It looks like it could be from 500 Master Games of Chess. Like this position was probably played in some games in like the 20s and the 30s or something. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Very, very old looking variation. White has good control of d5. White's maintaining good control of d5. It's still solid. But the problem is if you don't play knight h4 now, black's going to be able to play h6 and break the pin. That seems like an issue. I don't really want to give up my dark squared bishop for the knight on f6. I suppose it's even possible. But then like what's gonna control this knight from coming into f4? So that's why this is important. We trade off this knight and we keep the pin. And then of course like h6 isn't possible because of knight takes g6 and you're pinned on the diagonal. So welcome guys to the stream. We're doing some game analysis here. It gives black an extra piece. You know, a lot of people are like paranoid and play moves like h6 Rossador, and that's like going back, just want to say, like, I think that's really weak. for example. Okay, I don't know where he had a chance, actually. She didn't give him a chance. But just hypothetically, you know, say white was to play, like, I don't know, h3 or something. I see people play moves like this, and I'm like, what are you doing? You know, I just don't think it's necessary. I don't think that it's something you should be worried about. Maybe the same could be said for h3. I'm not afraid of this pin. Knight g6, but knight b2, it looks like a problem. Oh, you're saying you think that h6 for black now looks like it gives black an extra tempo. Uh-huh. Well, I mean, I just don't know where your bishop's going. I don't want to trade it. So this is what Judith did against Magnus. But I mean, yeah, I don't think white has much. Well, I don't think white has anything after bishop e3. So the idea here is that, well, first of all, I don't think this is a good line for Judith to play. Too closed, no tactics. It's a bad choice by her. She's very, 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 very strong tactically, you know, and I would think that this would be not really a position she would excel in necessarily. Seems like a really bad choice against Magnus. But bishop e3 keeps the threat of bishop f4. Like if knight f4 now, we can take. Okay, that's fine. If you take on e3, also now we control the f4 square, Karl Schlechter style. Probably it's okay. But see, this is what I'm talking about, people. When you make all these pawn moves, then it's like bang, bang, bang. And now this is where we start having problems, potentially, for white. If we make all those pawn moves, black's able to break with d5. Eventually we have to answer for our sins, you know? And that's the reason why I personally don't really like this b4 stuff. I would play sans b4 if I was playing the Joko. There's a lot of different systems you can play for white. I would look at all the alternatives. But this looks like a problem. Like you have to play knight h4. Alright, so here we go. You're playing like, here we go. You're playing like you did Polgar, so that's the plus side. Now, what does black do here? Taking is not that bad. We looked at that. c6 is a possible move, and d5 is a possible move. I'd like to see what Magnus did. Could Magnus have played d5? Freddie Matsura. This bothers me a little bit. 0-1. Bishop d5, queen d5. And now I play knight to c4. But see, I'm feeling the pain here. Let's see, bishop e3, knight e3, and then we're feeling pain over here. So only pinch a little. I don't like this frontal unhappiness. Queen d6, queen c2, and black played b6. Well, welcome to the long diagonal. Where's your e4 pawn? So good game for black there. That's what can happen. So that's an interesting idea by Matsura. What did Magnus do? Like c6? Just kind of like retreating back to c7 if necessary. Bishop a2, and now d5. And Judith Polgar is not a happy camper here. I mean, I don't know what white is doing in this position. She does this. You better have something quick, because now black has the center. Rook e1, rook e8, c4. So let's get something going. Judith, active player. She's not gonna just settle in and let black, you know, crush her. But man, he did anyway. So check this out. What is this? She sacked a piece? Oh my god. She sacked a piece. Like, who knows what this was? Like some sort of rapid game. Wow. And Judith Polgar is just down a piece against Magnus in 2012. Yeah, that didn't quite work out too well. Probably like rapid chess, though. I doubt that was like a slow game. That didn't work out well either for white. So I don't think the position is too hot. Luckily for princess chess, this variation may not be that bad. I wonder about d5 here. So there's a trick. Pawn takes d5, knight takes d5, rook e1, and you can't take the pawn on c3 because of the knight getting trapped. That's good to know if you're defending such a position. Mr. Slowhand just donated like crazy 7 gift subs. Wow, he's right. Gita B, Rexer, Evo Drazen, Metal Eagle, Soph912, Johnny Bravo, and naming my dog, Betsy. Mr. Slow, you're awesome. Our biggest hero, Metal Eagle, you're welcome. Well, thanks. Mr. Slowhand can tell you himself. Alright, guys. So anyway, black played bishop e6. This is like a standard move, but luckily for white, it's not a big deal. Mr. Slow, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the gift subs. So, Princess Chess, this is interesting to know. I wouldn't play this line anymore because I just don't think you have anything, and you might even be worse. But black has to be like very knowledgeable. It looks like the d5 move is really cool. The Matsura's move. Does this work tactically? ED5. Did somebody miss something here in this game? So apparently he should have played bishop takes b6, pawn takes, and like knight c4 here. Alright, let's see your game. So bishop e6, not the best move. Queen e2. You could go queen b3 or take. What I usually see from Magnus and players of that caliber is like this taking and playing d4. White gets in d4 first. You know what I was thinking? Maybe you take back. We need to make the stream bigger. We need to make the stream bigger. Then I can have a partner party. Help me make the stream bigger. Donald Trump. I'm sorry for mentioning it. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. I mean, the elephant in the room and all that. So I'm thinking take this way so that you don't give the opponent the f4 square. And also you have the c file for play, you know. Not all double pandas are bad. Double pandas. I like this for white. So that looks pretty forcing too. The delayed d4 is the main threat in the Gioco Pianissimo. Always. Your move is like solid. Okay? Now you have a little bit of a problem. Yeah, you can't really necessarily allow that in every position. b6 is a factor. B file. I mean, I think that she's trying to play solid. Not a lot going on here. I love this pawn structure, though. This, what do you call this? What does that look like? The C. Move 11 gifted tier sub. Tier 1 sub. Tier sub. A tier 1 sub to HRB Dev. We've got 8 gift subs today, guys. It's a hot subscriber simul. So I'm thinking, what is this pawn structure? That's awesome. How often do you see that? Anyway, guys, first game, I'm taking a long time on this one. I'm usually a little slow to get started. I really want to get the queen over here, maybe probe those pawns, but no. I think after 97, you're going to have to make a push. Don't be afraid to play d4, Princess Chess. It's usually the key move in these kind of lines. He who hesitates is lost. Be the first one to take the initiative here. Yeah, we need to get a name for this pawn structure. It's extremely original. I can't say I've ever seen that. She did it. Good job. I like d4. The engine doesn't like it for some reason, but I like it. You're playing actively. So I guess black was supposed to do d5, and then it's really weird. It's, I don't know what that is. It looks like half a coronavirus or something. It's a broken corona. Rexer, welcome. Thanks for being a subscriber. But I think the problem with White's plan is that, like, if you end up having to do this, you're pretty much screwed. See, this is the problem. At the end of the day, you know, everything's symmetrical except for White's busted pawn on e4. So you end up with a disadvantage. In a very close position, you're just slightly worse. I like d4. I mean, the worst problem is black's threatening d5 anyway. So we can't just sit here and do nothing. Still, I don't think it's a big problem. It's probably around equal. This is a mistake. Black trades off the strong point. And here, yeah, I don't like f4 for the knight. So taking this way makes sense, maybe. And now d5. And then dropping the pawn there. I mean, a5 isn't really the best square for a knight, but we'll take it if we have to. Totally equal. If we have to give the a pawn back. It looks like the engine has some sort of advantage. Rook b7, queen a5. I don't know why it's such a big deal. I would think it would be... Oh, I see. White will hold the pawn? No, I don't get it. Like queen a5, rook a5, rook d7, rook a4. Why is this so bad? Wyatt Earp. It doesn't seem like there's any way for White to make progress here. Well, there is one way to make progress. We can get our rook over and double. We got doubled on the 7. Then it would be trouble. Double trouble. Is that a serious issue? Rook b1. Rook f7, rook f7, rook b8 check. And now we have to play that. And it's like living dangerously. Gita B, the Panda says hi. Hey. Hey, Gita B. Welcome. Hey, everybody. Have a great stream. Your voice sounded kind of weird today. I've been drinking too much cherry beer. Alright. He's got to lay off the alcohol a little bit. This is my only idea, though. Looks like white is better in this ending. Kind of dangerous activity here. So actually what happens in the game is knight a5, rook a8, rook b5, just holding the, attempting to hold on to the pawn. Logical. Now do we have time to hold the pawn? It's very awkward how to protect this. We got serious threats now. This is loose. So white has managed to hang on to the extra pawn. But it's still a very, very tough game to win. I mean, with that isolated a pawn, very easy for that pawn to fall. There's no guaranteed win here because we're a pawn up. This is basically an exchange of pieces. Queen g6, rook takes. But come to think of it, alright. Queen g6, rook takes, rook c8, check, knight f8. No obvious breakthrough. But I think if it was Emmanuel Lasker playing white, they probably would have won. If this was Emmanuel Lasker versus Schlechter, it would have been a decisive match. I mean, we're really close to something here. Now 95, and that's on. Talk about hanging on by the skin of your teeth. Now it's like there's only one move. Queen e7 or rook a7. 2 moves. Ooh, this is insanely dangerous. So she was this close to winning. But the actual game continuation is Queen g6. Move 11, what's up? Any game submission from you? I got lost. Where the heck is Queen g6? There it is. Knight f8. There's no obvious win for white. Oh, you mean you could just go back to b1? That's what you played. So you played. I mean, that's the move. He dropped a piece. He didn't see you had this retreat back to b1. It took me a clean 30 seconds to see that. I was looking for something. We're not suffering too much tonight. We're drinking some cherry beer. I might suffer just a little bit later for my Hungarian friends. Queen b1, winning a piece, so white's winning. And we're just up a clear knight. Game over. Subsequent result due to headache. Happens to everybody. Alright. Mr. Slowhand is up next. Mr. Slowhand, massive donation. 8 gift subs. We had 7 gift subs. 7 gift subs. A second 8th gift sub from Move 11. Amateur Fast Chess. Hi, streamer. So thanks for the bit. Alright, guys. I got Mr. Slow. Big gift sub donation today. Thursday submission. Guys, streamer battle on Sunday, don't forget. I'll be back tomorrow with a Blitz stream in the morning. But Sunday we have dual streams. Not dueling streams, but dual streams. Sunday is our 3 o'clock in the afternoon streamer battle. Plus, your message sent? Yeah, I got your message. Plus we have the simul on Sunday at 6:30. Someone on sound will be in the house to beat me. Alright, so this was... For subscriber stream, please have a look at the last simul game. I won accidentally. Oh no. So we had a short simul game where I thought I was playing well, but dropped a piece carelessly. When you play the... What was this? Oh, it was a closed Sicilian. Yeah, I wasn't paying close enough attention to the knight on h5. Got my knight trapped. Man, it's extremely humid here. Those gift subs do compensate, but man, I'm going to try to open my window a little bit more. It's very little air. The mosquito net is in place. So, a little bit light, a little bit more light as well. But always wear a black t-shirt when you're hot. Important to remember to do that. Guys, subscriber stream, please donate and support the stream. Move 11, please submit a game, dude. Feel free. So I got Rossador, Xerox. We're going to do the the Mr. Slowhand game now. This is really kind of sad because I lost. I don't like to show my losses. I didn't know who I was playing because I'm doing the games in, like on Zen mode when I start out. Otherwise, I would sort of be able to play like specifically for certain people. But I never guessed that this was. I never guessed that this was Mr. Slow because he never played the English before against me, so I figured it was someone else. I'm pretty much finished and sick of playing c4, c5 because it's kind of tedious and symmetrical. I went through quite a while playing this, but I'm eventually kind of grown tired of it. I would rather explore other options. But it's still, I think Black's maybe Black's most solid response to the English, honestly. And not completely uninteresting. G3, knight c6, standard moves. Now you played knight f3. It's much more common to see knight c3, bishop g7, and now knight c3. So, yeah, I mean, my personal favorite is something like knight c3, bishop g7, rook b1, the Sarwan, or a3, I'm sorry. Sarwan style, Mr. Slow. But knight f3 is kind of a main line. And I decided, I have a bad record with this. The last time I played this in a tournament game, I lost as well. Mészáros András. Unluckily, Hungarian or Budapest Team Championship 2 years ago, I was undefeated except for one game. It really hurt, like losing. So Black plays d6, White plays castles, and I've been playing a lot of bishop f5, but it's become kind of predictable. This is a newer variation that is sort of trendy. I guess because it's just like easy to play. Objectively, probably not that great for Black. Just posing some unusual problems. Black tries to play like queen d7. I don't think it's anything special. But I reverted back to this other variation I was playing for a while with queen d7. See here, there's a game, Hikaru against Magnus from 2012. That's around the time when I started playing this stuff. Well, at least I studied it. But I don't really think this is 100% correct because of e3. e3 is the problem. You're threatening an immediate d4. You saw me playing this on ICC? What? Not recently. Well, I quit playing on ICC around 2016. I started streaming on ICC, probably. I might have had an old video or something on my YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been playing it, going back to, around... I should actually correct myself. I've probably been playing it since around 2008. So, quite a while before Magnus played that game against Hikaru. Larson played like this. Yeah, I was playing 15-minute games on ICC before I started streaming on... That was right before I started streaming on lichess. And... yeah, so... I had a game the other day with this. I won a really nice game against somebody in one of the streamer battles, some FM who was berserking. He got absolutely demolished. It's a good positional line, but if White really knows what they're doing, I think that it's kind of sketchy. Mészáros András, I think our game was something like e3, bishop takes c, he takes with the b pawn, and then I played b6, then he played e4. Or maybe it was a different move order. Maybe I played f5 here. See, that's the other move. Anyway, it's dangerous. White gets in the break e4. And Mészáros just crushed me. He's only a 2250 IM. And he played an absolute genius. And I lost. So I gave up playing that. Anyways, I figured I can still wheel it out once in a while. D3 is not really critical, but now I don't like this exchange as much. I tried that against Pop Jula. This is like a Pop Jula game I lost 2 weeks ago in the Mega Battle. After Bishop, but he wasn't castled, so it was a slightly different position. He wasn't castled, and he ended up like, after Bishop takes C3, he actually castled queenside, which I had never seen in my life. The position was different. He took with the D pawn. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not the same position. He had played like B3 and then took with the D pawn and castled queenside. Different position. So you can see Larson played this in 1990. He lost to Danny King. What's up, Midnight Rhino? Yeah, E3 is the critical move. Clearly the best. Like, there is no question. This is clearly the best for white. The threat of D4 is very, very serious. So at this point, like, you have to take the knight. Like, you don't have anything like... If you let white play D4, you're just screwed. Like, white just has this, like, insane space advantage. This is the only point to take here. And then roll your dice. But I think the B takes is the move, and then playing for E4. Anyway, it's a complicated game. So anyways, against our opponent here, I played Queen E7, he played D3, I just played B6. So you see it's like King Bent Larson. Bishop E7, A3, and then Knight F6. So this is interesting. I mean, I never really played this before. I suppose it does make more sense to play E6, though, looking at this in retrospect. Hoiberg, Hungarian IM that I know, played this against Shippo Shishvan. It sort of makes more sense to play like E6 and then E7 and play for Knight F5. It's a standard setup. Black will probably castle kingside. It's not forced, but likely. But I feel like I have some weaknesses. So I decided, well, there's nothing wrong with Knight F6. It looks like a decent move, actually. What does the computer think? Stockfish doesn't have a stored valuation for this. So Stockfish thinks it's the same. It's about equal. It's giving white an edge there. I thought Knight F6 creates less weaknesses. Now Rook B1, castles, and then B4. And we transposed some of their variation. I found the best move. It looks like there's no other plan. That's different game. You're talking about the game on ICC. Yeah, but anyway, this is funny. This is the best move. Played by Melchumian and this guy Riff, Sorokin, all good players. And it's very interesting. There is a very old game here with Vasilias Katronias when he was only 2355. From 1984, the year that I played in probably my first unrated chess tournament. And against Victor Frias, who sadly passed away 20 years ago. Now, he's been gone for a long time. Victor was a good guy. He was a Chilean grandmaster who lived in New York City. But we played once in the 90s. But that's amazing, a game from 1984. But Victor was a good positional player. He never got the GM title, but he was very talented. Very, very strong positionally. So anyway, now E4. And this is the move that Katronias played, and the only player to win. At some point I improved here. I improved on the Frias game. What did I do? Knight G4. See, Knight F3 check, Queen F3. I played Knight G4. So this is an improvement on Frias. Frias just played E6 here, which doesn't look bad, but it's kind of passive. Like, what are you going to play after E6? Of course, I understand Victor's concerned about the D5 square, but he ended up losing to a 2300 Katronias, which isn't a good result. Wonder what this was. 1984, he was probably living in the United States. Wonder where he would have played Katronias in 1984. Knight G4, though, I thought this is a cool idea. Let's see what the engine says. See, so it's the best move according to Stockfish. Now it's changing its mind. I wonder how Victor's move is. E6 creates more weaknesses. So knight e8 with the idea of knight c7, very compact and solid for black, is the other possibility. So knight g4 with the idea of this, maybe popping back here to c6 and into d4. And he shuts it down. This is like an anti-positional move of sorts, but it's like he knew what I was trying to do. And now white has this outside thing with the a4, a5. I get this break a lot in these Englishes where they weaken my b6 pawn and it becomes a kind of a long-term weakness. So I was unhappy now. And I realized that I have a problem. My knight is in danger of getting trapped. I might have to move my queen. So there's also the theme of the long diagonal. So I decided to play actively here, f5, f4. And now I wasn't sure because knight f7 was in my mind at the time. I haven't looked at this far. I checked the opening after we played the game, Mr. Slow. But I don't remember analyzing this far. I just thought my knight was kind of passive on f7. And I wanted the knight to bounce back from f6 through f6. That was my thinking. You know, if I play knight g4, it can go to a good square on f6. It ends up costing me, though, ironically. Like, this is solid, probably. So I go here, plays h3, and then there's a problem with knight f6. Black's position feels like changing clothes in a phone booth. Get smart. It sounds like Maxwell Smart. But h3, knight f6. No, we're very compact. I mean, basically, DK Guy, we're ready to like pounce at any moment with a break. We're gonna break through, counter break. White's actually made more pawn moves than black at this point. So the computer says I make a mistake here with knight f6. It's all based on misjudging e5. If I realized that this was a problem, I wouldn't have played knight f6. But I thought I had something with like queen d4. I guess I looked at this. What's the problem with this variation? I don't understand. Bishop g2, king g2, queen b7 check. I thought that was what the computer said. I guess I did analyze this far. See, what ends up happening is that I might lose control of the d5 square ultimately. Even if you play like super safe, trading queens, you have a slightly better ending. I guess you have to take with the rook. If I lose d5, I mean, it's very complicated. What are we doing here? I thought this would be okay for me. So the computer just keeps going. Like, I don't think I saw e6 as a legitimate possibility. I would have assumed I was fine here, but if you just keep going, like this variation, this variation, this variation, and eventually you get stuffed with d5. Because of the d5 square, white has an advantage. It's unbelievable. Now I have to do some kind of desperate exchange sacrifice. So there were like some technical problems there. Not a very exciting game on the surface, but there was some stuff going on underneath the surface. So he played a4. This is a very strong plan of a pawn break with a5, but it probably like is too slow. I missed knight h5. Didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't realize there was any danger. So I would imagine I have a lot of moves here. Rook e8 is the second best move. Now e5 is the only problem because I'm threatening this. And black, I'm going to be better now if I play e5. That's what I usually try to do. Get them to overextend themselves, and then I'm hammering them in the center. But he has this just in time. And I guess I screwed up now. I have to play, like, pawn takes e5 first. I'm not sure what the big deal is. F e5. I guess I missed this. I was probably looking at stuff like this. You know? I would have no idea what I'm doing, like queen e5, bishop e7, queen c3. The engine says that I'm better here, but I wouldn't have been certain about that in the game. So it's just a weird trap. Like I exchanged bishops. What did I do? I exchanged bishops first. Bishop g2. He takes for the king, and now I have to check on b7. And I just didn't see it. I didn't see it was a threat. I just thought, okay, I don't know what I thought. I just forgot that g4 was a thing. So I have to play queen b7 check. And we have a very similar ending to the other variation, maybe, where the d5 square becomes white property. Queen f3, king f3. And if my knight's on the side of the board, I'm not super happy. I would have probably played this and the same thing like in that other line, e6. Knight f6 maybe. But this break over here, white is better. White is better spatially here. Complicated game though. So I lost a piece by just not thinking. Before I knew it, I just like, okay, whatever, I'll just play knight h5. And I'm down a piece now for g4. I can't get anything for it. You'd think with the white king open, at the very least I could create some sort of unclear complications or something. There would be some sort of sacrifice. The only move I could play would be rook d8 and just be down a piece or a pawn. I guess this was worth a try. I should have played out a few more moves. You'd have to be a little bit careful here. But objectively, you only have given up one pawn for the piece, so I'm lost. Anyway, Mr. Slow, interesting opening. It wasn't that exciting to the surface, people, but I think there was more going on than most people appreciate there. Move 11. Alright. Move E. So, we've got enough games for now. I'm streaming till like 9:30. We've got 2 more hours left in the stream. At 8, there's the All-Star Arena. I might play some games in between, you know, analyzing games. Asterbait, what's up? Let me check the online arena to see what's up there. The All-Star Arena, which I'm subscribed to. Thanks, Mr. Slowhand, for a cool game. I'm sorry I dropped a piece. I feel like I rob people of a game when I blunder like that. There was literally nothing I could do. I just dropped a piece in one move. This is the wrong team. Panda and Horses Club. Thanks, guys, for the gift subs. Mr. Slowhand. Gift subs today. I should reiterate. Mr. Slowhand with 7 and Move 11 with 1. No problem at all earlier with the gift sub. We had lots of bit donations, guys. Thanks for supporting the stream. So, by the way, Streamer Mega Battle on Sunday, don't forget. And let me toss that. Let me toss that in the. Just so you guys promise to sign up. Streamer Mega. I can't even pronounce stuff today. Streamer Mega Battle. Streamer Mega Battle. Say that like 100 times really fast. Streamer Mega Battle. Sign up for Streamer Mega Battle, which I can't say. Max Parkhouse can't play challenges today. Join us tomorrow, 11 o'clock Central European time. So what I wanted to do was get our All-Star Arena, and I keep looking for the wrong thing. Getting old. Mouse. I'm mouse challenged. That's why I don't berserk. Mouse challenge. So All-Star Arena, 9th All-Star Arena. Nobody's there. 5 players. Fully in summer mode. That guy that I always lose to. FM Tomo is in there. That's wonderful. Can't wait to play him. I get lose again. Doesn't look like we have too many players yet. They didn't put up this tournament soon enough, though. They waited really long putting this arena up. Alright, guys. Let's go on to the next game. Asterbate submitted a game. Where's your game, man? Extremely humid here. Was going to feature my cheapo from Pawn to Blitz winning against a much stronger player. I love the quick cheapos, guys. Much easier. There's just 5 players so far. No, it is a master tournament, Midnight Rhino. I mean, there's only a handful of people in that arena who are under like 2,200. Extremely strong. And they're pretty underrated too. The ones that are under 2,200. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the point of the arena. Like, it's not in so many words, but basically only like master strength people. Not just anybody, like friends of people who live here in Budapest. It's a local group. But it's very, very powerful. Alright. Not just Budapest, but in Hungary. Krish against Asterbate. Asterbate's black. So Asterbate, what's this from the... You said the stream of Megger Battle? Megger Battle. The streamer Megger Battle. I'm going to just start calling it a Megger Battle from now on, because I can't say it properly. The Mega Battle. Mega. So we got 3-0. Asterbate playing black. Oh, in defense. Let me turn off the engine. Too much of that. So bishop d3, white best move. e6. And now he just goes off the map. Unbelievable. h6? Are you serious? The Grobe. I knew this guy, Robert Smith. He played in a tournament with me in Australian Masters, No, that's somebody different. Or is it? No, I know who Robert Smith is. He's a master. He's not the same guy I'm thinking of. Robert Smith is an English master. Alright. But, he was also not to be confused with the singer from The Cure. Alright. But what are you doing here, Asterbate? Like, seriously, h6? Is this a special move for the 3-0 crew? I wouldn't play c4. I mean, against h6 you could probably do anything, but I don't see the reason to turn it into a queen pawn game. White started out, it's basically an e4 game. There's no reason to play c4. Though h6 makes it weird. I mean, I don't know. There are different schools of thought. You could just castle. You could probably play h4 if you want to. Whatever setup you're comfortable with. c3, queen e2. It's funny, most of these guys castled. Watu Kobese actually drew Nigel Shore with this. That's embarrassing, man. Nigel Shore held to a draw by the South African IM with h6 in the... That's diss, dude. Dissing Nigel Shore. Good for you, Watu. h6 castles, and now g5. Asterbate novelty. Somebody played g6. That's just a way to play the hippo. Black's just gonna play a hippo. I don't know, guys. The cherry beer is pretty good. I don't know if I would buy it, but Dreyer Silai Medj. Little commercial. I think g6 I like better. g5's kind of nutty. Watu played d6. So it looks like Watu's going to play the hippo as well. That seems to be what's going on here. It's funny because Short plays the English defense and stuff that resembles this to some degree. You think he would handle it well with white. Also played by Gawain Jones against my friend Mark Quinn, 2007. But, you know, you gotta be inventive to play for a win with black. But g5 is crazy. That's wild. Pavel Blatny style. I mean, if you can get in like knight e7, knight g6, you're probably good. I also don't understand why everybody castles here. Look, 6 out of 8 white players castled in this position, but, you know, I would seriously think twice about it. Maybe the flexibility of not being committed to castles would be advantageous. Like, for example, if black plays g5, you can now play like h4 in a lot of lines if you don't commit to castling right away. I kind of like this move here. The problem was, like, white is a much stronger player. He lost. Wow. So that's like a good Portuguese guy. I am cheers 1. I am cheers you 1. You cheered me 1. Thank you for the 1. I think we said that. Highlighted message. I am cheers 1. c5. I mean, that's just ridiculous. This looks horrible for white and black. You play d5 in this position. Like, what is black doing? It'd be actually hard to decide. Very strange this guy lost with white. Alright, Asterbate. g5, knight c3, d6, extended hippo. Queen e2, now, a6, good move. And then d5, and you go e5, lock it up. That's the normal hippo strategy. Sounds like I'm chanting against Hillary Clinton. Lock him up. Lock it up. Lock it up with e5. I'm glad the chants are done. Lock it up with g5. But see the problem with g5, Asterbate? Now you're very inflexible. If your pawn was back on g6, you'd have so much more ability to do stuff. But now you have a big weakness, like Schieberspieler would be here sitting here. Oh, look at the f5 square. See, this is a serious problem. Or knight here, knight here, knight here, knight here. That's inherently the problem with the early g5. Now you have a big hole on f5. And it's very hard to do anything with that. You're just going to have to be very careful. And you don't have any forward way to break. Like, no way you can play f5. Almost ever. So you just want that pawn to be back on g6 right now. And now you play g4, which is a temporary gain, but eventually he's going to hit you with f3. So this will probably be white breaking through along the f-file after we play g4 too early. And white should probably be careful about where to put the knight, because this, as I was mentioning, this is another option to go for that. I'm not sure like which square is better. Yeah, this works too, I guess, same thing. Good move, bishop c8. We've talked a lot about this, but I think that somehow white might hit you with, yeah, he should play knight c4. Now he played like b4, but let's see what Stockfish says. c4, knight c4, f3. Wow, f4. Seriously going for it. I mean, f4 is very double-edged because this square looks like black can probably hold it. No, I mean, I would have probably played like either f3 or knight c4 if I were white here. White has like a clear advantage. But most people don't have the skill to play this kind of position. b4 is not a bad move. Like, he takes away this outpost and might have, I don't know what his plan is. It's not a bad move. Also, there's the rook lift, the river guarding rook. Bishop a3, but I mean, you know, he's a long way from playing like c4 or c5. Well, you're not going to c5 unless you can play a5, possibly. Oops, did we need that? That's a problem. So it looks like realistically you should have played h5, I guess, first. But I see you got on all this trouble because your g-pawn is advanced too far. Here, you lost the pawn, but you have some practical chances. I mean, he's castled. There's a g-file. Grabbed his bishop, but, you know, that bishop wasn't very good anyway. White's really not like stressed about losing that bishop. I might recapture with the pawn, but if he does that, then there's no c4 c5 break. So I guess queen takes is good. And I don't know, he's hoping for knight h4 or something. That's kind of weird. White should lock down the f5 square. Knight c4, knight e3, knight f5 maybe. Spectacular Camel, welcome. Oh no. You dropped the h-pawn. Not exactly. Man, Asterbait just gets no respect. He just gave you a bishop. Hey, have a bishop. Alright. And now we're golden. The master of consolidation would play a5 here, just locking it down. Don't give him any counterplay. Asterbait is right on that immediate threat. Yeah, okay, knight h4 or knight e1. I don't know which is better. Now you have queen d7. I'm not sure it does anything. Oh my god. Asterbait, what did you just do? So this is like a huge trap. Hoping for knight h5, knight f4. But objectively, like, why not? Well, actually, queen d7 might end up losing a piece. So you missed knight h5, knight f4. It's amazing that you're not lost after this. But you had a piece to give back. So he gives the piece back. He's hoping for the... I thought you were hoping with a cheapo. Wow. I thought you were going to play this. I thought his whole plan was to play knight h5 and hope for, like, king h1, rook takes, and knight f4 check. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to scroll back. We have this. Crazy. But okay, this is a 3-minute game. Let's not be unreasonable. Asterbait got a decent game. Knight h5, good choice. Queen h4. And a little threat. Check. Check. He gets away. Or not. Doesn't take the rook, takes the knight. Takes the rook. Where's the mate? Oof. So, anyway, good win. What was the opponent's rating here? Let's see. Oh, he's like 1520. Okay, so he's like the same rating as you. I thought it was an upset victory, Asterbait, but he was only at 1500. Didn't you say it was like a high-rated victory or something? Still not a bad game. 40 centipoint loss. The opening was bad though. Don't play g5, dude. I like the hippo, but you got to be careful about this. g5 is not a hippo. You're just kind of playing like a maniac with that move. All right. Next one up is El Rosador. El Rosador. I got 10 minutes till the arena starts. I'm registered for that, so that's an arena, and I'll forfeit if I don't get there in time. Maybe I'll just drop out and then drop back in. Just in case, like, we go over. I'll leave the arena and get back in when I'm ready to play. So I'm not going to play that many games over there. I'm just going to withdraw so I don't forfeit my first game. We have time to go over this game. It might take like 15 minutes. Inbox. Now they won't have enough players. They posted the arena too late, so that a lot of people didn't think about it, I think. They waited till like today or yesterday. Alright, where's El Rosador? In the house. I got your message. Resubmit this game for analysis. El Rosador, where's the game? Am I crazy? Can we get the game somehow? From El Rosador? Schieberspieler, what's up? I'm gonna play, but I figured I was gonna... It's linked in the first one, maybe? Oh. Alright, thank you. Eric Rosen did analysis on my Dubarry variation. You can see a clip... No, I just have a link to Eric Rosen. I don't really want to watch Eric Rosen on my stream. Where's the actual game? You never sent me the game, man. It's alright. Go grab it. I can't play now amateur fast chess. But tomorrow, if you stop by in the morning at 11 o'clock, CEST, we're going to take challenges. Now I'm just doing analysis, and I might play some games in our All-Star Arena with my friends. Thanks to everybody for subscribing and being part of the stream. I'm gonna do this game with a Rosador, and then we'll play a game or two in the I'll join the arena. But I don't want to forfeit Schieberspieler. The tournament's starting in 10 minutes, but I will be in there when we're done with the next game. I am Gobix. Unfortunately, I am Gobix, and unfortunately, I am Gobix. How am I gonna do this? It's so annoying. Alright. I'll have to open the link in a new window. Copy it. Copy. Then close it. Then move my window back over. And then open a new window here. Or I'll just paste it. Alright, that works. That was a roundabout way of doing it, but we did it. The Dubarry variation. Honestly, wow, that's the first time I've seen like 62 center pawn loss with only 3 inaccuracies. That's a really high center pawn loss. You must have like just made one massive blunder or something. But no, that doesn't make sense. How could your center pawn loss be so high if you made just 3 inaccuracies? Doesn't seem right. You got paired with a good friend of mine for tomorrow morning. He will play in suit, and I'll play in sunglasses. It's so hot, man. So you know the pairings of your tournament. Good luck. So Schieberspieler was one of the top seeds in his tournament. He must be paired down with a friend of his who's lower rated. It's good to dress well for the chess tournament. No AC. No AC in my office either. I'm like really sweating here. Alright, so Dubarry variation. So this is what I play a lot with black. Like against Schieberspieler the other day. I play a lot of hyper-accelerated dragon with black. But, you know, the best move objectively is c4. But not everyone is Schieberspieler. And not everyone is going to excel in a position that's like space advantage based. I think like c4 is a very positional line, and El Rosador is right not to play c4. I don't think that would suit his style. He's more tactical, and I like to play both actually. I like to play c4 sometimes. I like to play knight c3. It depends on my mood. I mix and match, but I think like the computer will say that c4 is the best move here. Alright, so knight c3, knight c6, bishop e3, and now black plays an extremely rare move that I've never faced or played myself, a6. I'm not going to look at the engine, trying not to look at this. I'm going to turn it off. I don't want to like get hints. I mean, when you look at this position, so you're immediately drawn to the b6 square. The weakness of b6 is very noticeable. So the first thought is knight d5. I don't see anything with like knight takes here. It just looks stupid. So it has to be knight d5 based on knight b6. Black would have to address the knight on d5. There's always like queen a5 check, actually. Doesn't look that stupid. So you did play knight d5. Black played knight f6. So I was thinking about 3 moves here. Knight f6 is one of them, challenging the knight on d5. The second one is e6, also challenging the knight on d5. Third one is like queen a5 check. I'm not sure if it does anything. It might be a mistake because of b4. Knight b4, but I'm not sure if that works or not. Okay, so you're saying like there's some variation based on bishop e5. Well, I think like a master might find that move, but not in a blitz game. You know, if it was like a long time control game where you realize like you're in a bad position and you ask the master to play, why I'm stuttering so much today, because I'm just tired. But bishop e5, and that's definitely a move I've used in some desperate situations. Yeah, it's unnatural. So I would think knight f6, e6 would be my primary moves. d6 also deserves consideration, but it's looking like d6 we got a very clear, refutation. Take, bishop e6, and then we're threatening knight c7. So that's likely not good. I mean, what's happening? Queen d7, knight c7 check, king f8, knight a8, and then we try to trap a piece here. I mean, best case scenario, black is just down the exchange. After c3, queen a8, I mean, or bishop d4, probably. I don't know which move is better, but we're threatening maybe to get out with this move. So anyways, that doesn't work. No time for d6. Knight f6, same problem. Knight c6, followed by bishop e6, and knight c7 check, I presume. Stuck Wizard is raiding with a party of 7. Thank you for the raid. Stuck Wizard. Trying to find a move here for black. What about e6? So we're same old. Knight takes and bishop e6. We're getting the picture here that black is busted on all those moves. Therefore, I mean, how bad is it to play something like chop everything? Knight d4, bishop d4, bishop d4, queen d4. We're going to be hitting this, right? Can black survive in this line? El Rosador? Something like knight f6 now? Queen c3. Oh, white has e5. Are you serious? That can't be right. This? That doesn't look good. Oh, you have knight b6 now. Rook b8. and e5 there. And there's no more knight d5. So this is the point. You have to play knight b6 first. So there's no time for knight f6 even. And if f6... I mean, it's obviously terrible for black. I'm not sure how immediately it loses, but it's just bad. So that's pretty cool. Black played knight f6. You have knight takes, and then bishop there, winning the queen. Pawn takes, bishop takes, king takes. And 2 pieces for the queen. Yeah, it's enough to continue to play in a blitz game, I guess. And like, if it wasn't for the king there, you might be able to play. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, black's down 2 pieces for a queen, and his king is stuck in the center of the board. So, it's lost. Yeah, I mean, if again, thanks for the raid from Stuck Wizard. If you start playing the openings well, Rossador, you're going to be a very, very dangerous customer to deal with. I think it's a good thing, though, that you maybe didn't learn openings till last. Maybe you're not a great endgame player yet, but holding off on learning openings, a lot of people focus too much on openings. Now you're strong enough that it's time. And this move I don't really like, because black can play a4 and fix your structure. I think you made a serious mistake here. You have to play like b3. Or just bishop c2. But what you don't want to do is let him fix it. After a3, a4, now you have problems. His bishop's very good, his knight's very good. You have no dark square piece that can take those out. I mean, if you're playing like a GM here or something, I wouldn't be surprised if they could hold on. If you were playing like Larry Christensen or some strong blitz bullet player, grandmaster. I guess it's a lot to ask, though. I mean, he's not only down 2 pieces, he's, for the queen, he's down a pawn and king position. So even with the best possible blockade, black's in trouble. And trading pieces probably doesn't help. I mean, his knight on c5 is like actually way better than your bishop. So I would not trade the knight on c5. It's guarding b7. It has a lot of influence. It keeps pieces on the board. This is a very stupid decision to trade the knight on c5. So now it's like 2 bishops for the queen. No, if his king were on g8, I would say, it's not that easy. If his king was on g8 and you had no a pawn, it probably is a draw. For example, he needs to win your a pawn and have his king in a safe place to hold this position. Not that easy to do that. Overload. No way to defend. Alright, good game. So, that was a good game. Busted him in the opening. Yeah, it's amazing how quickly that a6 got him in trouble. I'm going to head over to the All-Star Arena, play a couple games, and then we'll continue. I still got games from Xerox and Move 11 to analyze here. Alright. Just a moment. Just a moment. Thanks everybody for support. I'm going to open a beer in celebration of the All-Star Arena. In honor of the first time when I'm watching All-Star Arena. You mean you're not playing? I assumed you were playing. Schieber Spieler. I'm not going to play too many games, just a couple. Alright. I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little confused. I'm looking for different things all the time. Where is my profile? Where is my profile? All-Star Arena. Please don't make me play Tomo. Tomo beats me every game. It might take a while to get a pairing. Or maybe not. No Tobo, no Fekete Bari. Those guys just own me. guys and girls. So anybody but them. No Fekete Bari and no Tomo. Who else do I not want to face? Arbitrage was pretty brutal last time. I'd rather not face him. He played an impressive game against me. In that he had this like stock preparation in the Verisov. I caught myself in a trap that that he had like prepared very deeply. This is a non-Hungarian player. They're quite fast. But I'm glad he's playing this line. I don't know what that is. That's some kind of interesting idea. A3. Alright, whatever. I'm going to play G6. A3 is stupid against G6. It has nothing to do with this position. Objectively, I should hit in the center. But whoever this player is, they're like ridiculously fast. Can I just grab a pawn? Oh, he's going to castle. But that's a dangerous place for the white king. Mr. Slowhand, take care. Thank you for supporting the stream. Just blundered his queen. Yeah, in an increment game, I would probably give this one up. That was lucky. He's just playing too fast. But I think a lot of people just aren't warmed up in the first couple of rounds. Probably like the guy didn't play all day. So we'll play one more game and then we'll take a break and go back to game analysis. But I appreciate the Gobiks and my friends also playing in our mega battle when they get the chance. So I want to lend my part and lend my support. Oh, you see, immediately you get Tomo. At least I'm black. He's like worse when he's black. It's much worse facing him with black. Schieberspieler remembers what I played against him last time when we played over the board. I don't remember what opening it was. F3. That's weird. He played F3, then F4. What is this? Is this new? F3, then F4. Okay, I have to admit, I don't know what I'm doing now. Knight G4. Knight G4, Queen G4, Knight D4. Doesn't seem right. I'm officially confused. So D5, E5, I understand that. I mean, E5 is an interesting idea. It wasn't a mouse slip. He played it too fast. I've never seen this. I played this variation maybe 20 times. Never even seen it in analysis. The idea is if d5 then e5, and then I have to go to somewhere stupid, like knight d7, and I can start attacking with... I was thinking about e5. Oh well, I don't know. I just wasted half my time, but I lose every game against this guy. It's unbelievable. He's lower rated than me, or around the same rating. FIDE. Knight e4, knight e4, queen h4 check. Okay, I don't know. We'll just play chess. He castled kingside? What? Who would have thunk it? So knight g4 is funny. Bishop f7 check. Am I lost yet? It's like, are you serious? He plays every move instantly. Why is he 2400? How is he 2400 and he can win every single game against me? He should be like 2900. How is this even possible? I'm just like, and completely psyched out against the guy. Why is he 2400 if he plays like a grandmaster every game against me? But he's surprisingly, you know, kind of inconsistent. I felt like I was going to get killed there, but then he didn't kill me. And then again, he like didn't kill me. So I think he's like insanely strong, but trying to be quick. He must have some sort of weakness. And I just can't find any weakness in his play whatsoever. He doesn't seem to make any sort of mistakes. I'm down to 29 seconds. What? That's a weird move. Totally unexpected. He's just being like super practical. Like objectively, he didn't play the best moves for a while. I'm hallucinating his bishop d1. I mean, seriously, if this guy was like 24 whatever, I would just, it's not even my turn. I would just not play him in a rated game. What just happened? Yeah, objectively. Objectively, I have a very solid position. I thought he could have played rook d1 there. I give up with this guy. He's just way too strong. Just way too strong to be 2400. Except he misses like mate in 1. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. I mean, how is this guy 2400? It's ridiculous. He's beaten me 4 games to none. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. I mean, unbelievable. Check this game out. He finally screwed it up, but he's so fast in addition that I have no chance. So he's just way ridiculous rating. I mean, he's not even 2400 over the board. So f3. Like, check this out. f3 and then f4. And he's like perfectly prepared with the latest theory. I have to find a move here. The engine was looking at what? Camel Dragoon, knight d5, computer move. I'm done playing this variation. It's just stupid. It's too trendy. Everybody plays it. It has no surprise value. It's just a waste of time. No, he didn't mean to play it. This is theory, dude. This is a very up-to-date line. Caruana Dubov. This is intentional. So I played a new move, e5. He instantly played the best move. By the way, using 8 seconds. And instantly made the second best move using 0 seconds. It's top move according to Stockfish. And now I'm like clearly worse. Very natural move. By now I've used 2.5 minutes. Well, they're easy moves, but they're like tons of choices, Schieberspieler, honestly. Like in this position. No? I guess not. I guess not. I guess he doesn't have a lot of choices here. He has to play FE. I was thinking like this might be a move. He could play that, but objectively it's... But at least to think for more than 3 seconds, you know, I would think. You'd have to think for more than 3... Castles also. I thought White was going to castle queenside. He could totally castle queenside here. It's not automatic to castle kingside. So apparently here I have to play d5. And I managed to survive like the whole game. Amazingly. With no time left. That was a weak move by White, but he has 2 minutes and I have 29 seconds. Well, I thought he could just play queen e2 and castle queenside. After takes, knight takes e5. Why can't he just like go here and castle queenside? I guess it's dangerous with this rook. But I'm not sure, you know. Like, what am I going to do? D5? I'm not a computer. If you look at it with the computer, it's easy to see, like, D5 is the best move. But I'm not sure I would have seen it. You know, that I have D5 here. If D6, H3, and he guards G4, castles queenside. But, you know, yeah, hindsight is 2020. If we don't have the engine on, I'm not sure, you know, I would find D5 or not. I might play D6 and then he plays H3. Yeah, this is a new variation, but not very good for black. He screwed it up though, but I never got the advantage. It looks like the best I got was equal. Here we had a tiny edge, and then he misses what, like rook D1 here. He's clearly better here. I dropped the pawn on E6. And I thought I was doing well after this. This is unbelievable. He missed queen c3. No, I'm just saying, like, he's way too good for 2400. Well, at least he plays well against me. I don't know how he plays against other people, but his play against me is unbelievable. His rating is low, I believe, for the level that he plays. Extremely strong for a 2400 lichess player. Alright, let's go back to the analysis. I'm going to take a break from that. Suffering. And we've got 2 games left from Xerox to Move 11. Alright. Game analysis. 1 hour ago. Xerox. lichess. George Meyer S game versus FIDE Master Yellow Dragon. Oh, this must have been an older game. I haven't seen Yellow Dragon come to my streams in forever. George Meyer-esque. George Meyer plays like knight f3. Oh, you're black. Alright, I was going to say. That makes sense now. George Meyer famous for the French Rubinstein. The only player willing to play the French Rubinstein. Mr. Coffee. Not easy to beat Yellow Dragon, who's like an expert in the opening. Extremely good in opening prep. What's up, Schieberspieler? Good luck in the mega battle. Thank you. I know you guys can't play. Well, you can't play. Maybe some of our other friends from the All-Star Arena can play. We got to improve on our 7th place finish from last time. It wasn't bad, but we can do better. Alright, good luck in the tournament. Schieberspieler is going to be playing over the board, but he's a favorite. We expect him to win the tournament. Alright, knight c3, d4, knight e4, and now bishop d7. This is George Meyer? I don't know. He probably plays, everybody who plays the opening probably plays both. I think it's a mistake. It's got to be a mistake to take on e4, but it's like saying the Scandinavian is a mistake. You know, it's such a small mistake that we can get away with it. But my argument is that philosophically, on a scientific level, exchanging on e4 is a mistake. You're giving up your strong point on d5. I just want, you know, everyone to understand. If you play any opening, I mean, your strong point is extremely important. So why is black exchanging here? Like, the best variation for black is the knight d7, I guess. George Meyer plays that a lot. I didn't know he played the Fort Knox variation as well. So this is called the Fort Knox, where you play like bishop d7 and bishop c6. It's so solid. Fort Knox was traditionally where they stored the gold bullion in America. I don't think that they still do that. I'm not sure. But it's typically like a famous place. where like the American gold reserves were kept. That's why it's called Fort Knox, because it's so solid. Now knight f3, bishop c6, and bishop d3. So I recall there's like knight g5. I don't know. By the way, Xerox is black here against Yellow Dragon, who's really, really well booked up player, let's say. He's good tactically, and he's very prepared. I don't know if America still has gold reserves. Spectacular Camel. I haven't inspected them lately. I would hope so. I would hope there's something backing our money. But I think they have gold reserves, but they're not necessarily stored at Fort Knox. So knight g5 is a really interesting move. It's strange that Karpov would occasionally play the French. Kind of weird. But that knight g5. Well, I noticed my dollar, Spectacular Camel, dropped about 8% in the last couple of weeks, so I'm not... When Donald Trump destroys the economy, it may not matter to Americans that much, but when you're like an American living abroad, where your money is converting to another currency, and you can see your money is like falling apart, that's a bad sign. I guess like in America you'll see price inflation, but anyway, that's another subject. So bishop d3, knight d7. Anyway, knight g5 is a really good move. I think that's quite aggressive. Here, bishop d3, knight d7. Black's strategy is basically to trade pieces, trade a couple of pieces early on, but I think it's a really bad line. Knight f6 and now knight f6. So as you can see, the main move is knight g3. So that Belgian guy, Velton, or is he French? Knight g5 is dangerous. Sharper, but this is fine. This is fine for white. Larry Christensen has a game with like knight c3. Am I mixing my variations here? I guess it's later. I saw some game where knight c3 is played. Is that right? Yeah, okay, Larry has a game against Eric, but they're friends. I don't know if that was a real game or a friendly draw. Lubrin and Christensen were thick as thieves. They're very good friends, so I would imagine a draw between those guys might be suspicious. Knight g3 is like the main line. I got my check, and the irony is, DK Guide, that no bank in Hungary will accept American checks. Like, we used to have an American bank here, Citibank, but they left. I wonder why. And there's no American banks left in Hungary. And so, well, even so, like the other banks would probably cash an American check as of a couple of years ago. The last time I think was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. But I went to my bank, and they said they won't cash it, so, or even let you deposit it. So I have to like send my check back to the United States. Yeah, I got an actual check. I have to send my check back to the United States in order to actually deposit it in the bank, which is just ridiculous. Yeah, they don't respect Donald's signature over here. Sorry. They turned up their noses. Anyways, knight g3. This move doesn't look as dangerous. This is good for black. Exchanging pieces, theoretically, good for black. So, I think Yellow Dragoon, he's missed a couple of good lines. Like the knight g5, this keeping pieces on the board. Bishop e7, and then what? Rook e1, and then we have to exchange here at some point on f3. It's recommended. I don't know what Xerox does, but I don't like this variation a whole lot for black. c6, and then c3. And it's just so solid. Very difficult for black to do anything. There was a game where that's it. So if you ever wanna see like why you don't want to play this variation for black, this Leiko Serwan game is probably the best evidence that you can get. It's just like two positional players with similar styles. Leiko's not a player who takes a lot of chances. Serwan's the same. He just crushed Serwan. No counterplay. it's over. Yeah, I don't think this variation is really viable for black unless you're playing in an amateur tournament or something. I would recommend playing knight d7 on move 4. This seems like a much better chance. I don't know if George Meyer plays knight bishop d7. Let's see. Who are the top names here? Gelfand, that's strange. Gelfand, Carlsen. Gelfand, Rapport, Carlsen. Gelfand. Why is Gelfand playing the French defense? What happened to that guy? It's not enough that he stopped playing the Najdorf, but he, he's even playing the French defense. Padron Antoni, you're probably right. I could probably go to Austria and deposit my check. But that's equally difficult to mailing a check back to the United States. Alright. Good suggestion, though. I could deposit it in Austria. If I get to Vienna, I would have no problem. The banks there are civilized. Queen e2, bishop f3, queen f3. So we transpose to this line. And you know what this is? Very similar to the queen d8 Scandinavian has exactly the same positions. I think there's even like transpositions, ironically. This is like what you get when you play the queen d8 Scandinavian. I know there's like people who wrote books on that. It just seems like utterly lame. This is our goal. So Xerox with a very passive position. The plus side is that like some attacking players might get kind of bored with White's position. Schieberspieler, for example, would be very happy. He doesn't play e4, but just this is almost like a queen pawn type position, I think, with the d4 pawn there. Now queen d5, Rustamov. Now there's a guy who... Rustamov, I remember playing the French. He's a very good blitz player. He used to play computers all the time. He's like an expert in playing against computers. He would probably know how to play this. I mean, it seems like, I guess it would be a good variation to try if you want to grind out draws against engines or something. Even so, you're going to lose the vast majority of the games. So queen e2, and now bishop e7. White avoids exchange of queens, and this move seems kind of weird, honestly. Bishop c4. I mean, White has to base their plan here on pawn structure. So, pawn structure dictates what we're doing. Black's trying to break through with c5. White would try to play for f4, f5. With a wicked attack, I would think. If you play f4, if Black plays c5, there's this hole with bishop b5 check. But for example, like this, maybe this isn't so bad. Can we try to forfeit our castling rights in order to get through with c5? I don't know. I don't really like this position very much. It's probably a crazy idea. From my perspective, I mean, f4 is a really, really strong plan. Computer recommends g6. That's probably a good idea. And then like bishop e3. Engine just wants to go g4. But White's advantage is not all that big, and you could castle queenside also. So it's not that bad for Black. I don't really like it because there's no active counterplay. But I really feel like f4 is the bomb. This move by the computer, bishop f4, is sort of like a strangulation style game. Also not bad. I would think like bishop d6 trying to trade pieces, but then you lose a piece. Bishop c4. So bishop f4 looks good too. I wouldn't want to touch this, Xerox. French is great, but if you must play the French, you should play the Winower or the classical. I still think knight d7 is better. Alright, so bishop c4, kind of a weird move. And if you can trade queens, that's great. You're only slightly worse. But I'm surprised that's a good move. I wouldn't know. I don't know. Maybe you can train your attack on h2. Yellow Dragon would normally avoid trading queens here. I would think. What about like f3? f3, bishop d6, g3. It's not so easy. Yeah, the Winnower is better, of course. The classical is probably the best, safest anyway. Winnower is more dynamic. Yeah, I mean, it's good to have a kind of backup. I understand. As long as you don't play this exclusively, then you're like a sitting duck. But you're kind of lucky that he traded queens, because I feel like that reduces White's advantage slightly. Yes, theoretically he's better, but without the queens, I mean, the chances of the deadly attack are not as high. The plan doesn't really change. f4 seems like a reasonable idea. Now here, castling, though, you know, it's an endgame, man. I don't know. I might even not castle at all. I would think like you would consider just putting your king on d7, or maybe castling queenside, where the rook joins the game. King d7 may be a little bit too much. Is g4 really, really dangerous? Is the second question. How dangerous is g4? Like g6, g4, just trying to rip it open right away. This is a sick move. Only George Meyer could play. Knight g7 with the fianchetto knight. Holding up f5. It takes a certain kind of player to play that. So I don't love castles. You're also in the diagonal of that bishop on c4. Yeah, Schieberspieler would love this position. 2 bishops. It could have been a d4 game. So now White has a slicing bishop in the f file with an advantage. g6, rook f3, expected rook f3. Rook f2 is reasonable. Well, that's a good move, getting the king off the diagonal. And now you're actually threatening f5. Reminds me of the Sicilian. Wow. I wonder about the rook retreat, you know. Should he have gone to f3? f3 is better, geometrically, somehow. Wow, the computer seriously wants to play this. Take, bishop h6 with a better ending. Man. That's hard to play, though. So take g6, rook f2. Yeah, I would be suspicious of my opponent being a computer if they played that. It's not true, though. I mean, there's some people, like my friend Emil, who are obsessed with sacrificing the exchange. He just, like, sacrifices exchange whatever, every single chance he gets. If you're obsessed with sacking the exchange, I think rook takes h5 might be not that difficult to find. Alright, bishop d2. Of course, like, half of his exchange sacrifices are unsound. But this is, like, a great plan, though. So, I think this just changes the dynamic. Black now has, like, a mobile majority. He can fight for the e-file here. His knight has a good chance to get to, like, f6 and e4. I feel like this is a turning point in the game where black is okay, almost. I like the move f5 a lot. And then rook f1 is, like, kind of stubborn. I think white now, you know, he has, like, 1 speed and it's, like, full ahead, but is he really going to play, like, g4? Just challenge you? You have knight f6, knight e4. But white can guard the e4 square with bishop d3. So I would think, like, white would go here. Logically. No? I would be more interested in the e-file than playing rook f1 if I was white. That seems like an awkward move. So your knight's pretty good. And he's just giving up e4. I'm not sure what your best move is. Like bringing the rook over. Schieberspieler is looking forward to... This is a bad move. Schieberspieler is looking forward to bishop versus knight endgame after something like rook e2 and some sort of exchange of bishops. We can't do that, though. After rook e2, I feel like you're still worse here. White has ways to undermine. Bishop d6 allows like rook takes f4. I'm hallucinating. Rook takes e4. I meant to say. So it's not that easy for you. He can undermine your knight with bishop d3. You're not like fully equalized. I would lose to Schieberspieler here. It's a classic grind, like DK Guy is saying. Very tough position. Bishop on c4 still remains stronger than the knight. But this is a really bad move. Because now you trade bishops, but you trade bishops on your terms, or on pretty good terms. And I have no idea like which way to recapture. King takes may be like a horrific mistake, but I'm not sure. It looks like after king takes, you're flirting with disaster. I mean, the possibility of g4, the possibility of rook e2, rook e4. To be honest, I don't know. I probably would have played like knight takes and just tried to hold on. That's what the engine recommends, but then it changes its mind to the Xerox variation. Of course he expected you to take with a knight. This looks like a risky move, but the computer also agrees. But I don't really get it. I mean, this is a horrible move. But I mean, I don't get it. After rook e2, he's got this threat, which may or may not be that big a deal. But he's got this threat. So I suppose, you know, you play something like rook e8. And he can double, play g4. I assume that white is like slightly better here. But I like your spirited, active king. Rook f4 is super clumsy, and then you both miss knight d2. So now we're headed for confusion. I mean, knight g5 was a weird move. Definitely. He had bishop takes, looks like one of my games. Bishop takes f5. Oof. So you caught him on a day, when was this played? 2 years ago. He wasn't that sharp tactically. And missed a couple chances. Now you're in trouble by g4 again. That move is crazy. a4. Yeah, he's just completely missing the point here. That was a great idea. Stopping g4 forever. And then knight c7. And you got this. Well, you're still not better. But he has a little bit of issues now. And that's very awkward. And knight d5 is coming. So white is on the verge of losing. Good king move. So it's probably equal. I mean, you could play knight d5, right? You have, like, problems maybe there with something? Is there a problem with this move? Oh my god, he has bishop e3 followed by rook takes c3, bishop takes d5. That's so sick. Winning a piece. I agree he was kind of playing on the wrong side of the board there. He wasn't really like set up all the way. He didn't play that well, that stage with a4 and stuff. And now you gotta be careful. So objectively it's like you're holding on. You were threatening some tricks. And then f4. Whoa. I must have missed something. Okay, so you're just gonna trade. That's cool. You're just gonna trade the f pawn for the g pawn. Wow. I wouldn't have seen it. It's amazing that you're just clearly better now. Like, he has no entry points here, here, and here. So if you just take the pawn with rook g4, he has this. And take, knight f5, right? And you have chances to win. I mean, one would assume that your two connected passed pawns are stronger than the bishop with a one pawn majority on the other side. Man, that was a weird turnaround. How quickly he got in trouble. Now again, more mistakes. I guess it's just like, actually you both have a lot of time left. You shouldn't be making that many mistakes. Both of you are playing too fast here. You both have like more than a minute left. Objectively now, that h-pawn is really, really strong. And why would he take with the king? He was afraid of rook e2 check. But I mean, the bishop on the diagonal can stop the pawn. That seems like a really key, a really, really important thing. You know, this bishop's ability to echelon, escort the pawns forward, and then stop the black pawns as well. Bishop takes d5 was a good move. But now he's just falling apart. That's easy win. That was a good battle. That was 2 years ago. Yellow Dragon was pretty good even back then. And he's not a bad endgame player. But I felt like he wasn't in his best form in that game. He certainly, you know, did a good job defending. But I don't know. I don't like the Fort Knox variation. It just looks unpleasant for black. I told Mr. Coffee not to play that. Alright guys, let's go back to All-Star Arena. I've still got a game for Move 11. What time is it? We've got 8:47. We've got 45 minutes left. Let's play another game 2 in All-Star Arena. And we'll do Mr. Move 11. Mr. Move 11. Let's see if I can win some rating points here. Profi. Mr. Coffee complied. I didn't have to bend his arm to stop playing the... I didn't have to twist his arm too hard to stop him from playing the Fort Knox variation. It was really hard. He was like, no, please let me keep playing that. I want to keep suffering. But I agree, like Xerox, it's okay for something like a change-up once in a while, if the opponent doesn't expect it. But I seriously think the 97 lines seem better. They're also not easy. I think the easier to learn that Fort Knox variation or whatever, but I think it inherently has... Are you kidding me? Alright, dude, whatever. I can't believe I put my knight on f3. I'm not gonna play a King's Indian. I'm going to play in Zen mode from now on, so I don't have to even think about who I'm playing against. Grigo. It's the Grigo system. They don't have the Grigo system in Croatia, I guess. Only in Providence, Rhode Island. David was a terrific player. A very strong FIDE master who is inactive. So what am I supposed to do here? Take and play like knight d2 or something? Or queen c2. Queen c2, knight c5, b4. Problem is I don't know this deep enough. What would Grigo do? Possible I already made a mistake. I don't like that a lot. G4. Take, knight f5. That's crazy. I don't know, this guy just seems like unbelievable. He seems like unbeatable. Every variation you can play, he knows. He's like a grandmaster. He's prepared for everything. He's insanely fast. It's just like, I should just resign. He's like the strongest FM in the world. I'm going to look this up and it's going to say it's like the best possible variation for black, according to theory. Just happen to know it. Total opening fail. It's unbelievable. What's that? Now my b4 pawn is hanging. So I'm just lost, right? Straight up lost immediately. This is like ridiculous. The guy just beats me every single game. And I have no clue what I'm doing and he just like plays perfect moves. It's extremely weird. I mean, seriously? It's like... unbelievable. How could his rating be 2439? He'd be like 2700 if he was this strong. Easily. Like, what is this? Some sort of joke? Are you serious? I'm just not going to play this guy anymore. I mean, I don't know what the deal is here. Like, what is going on with this guy? But he's way too strong. It's like you're playing a 2800 or something. And I'm sorry, dude, but you're like 2350 FIDE. And you're not that high rated to play perfect games all the time. This engine #1 move, 98. And I'm just screwed already. I thought bishop g5, queen f7 actually. White can bail out with e4 here. But I'm not going to play this guy anymore. Like, seriously. Why do you play like a 2900? It's just too much. I just don't believe in this guy. I wish I could just block him from playing, you know. I'm not going to play him anymore. So this is the wrong move. I'm supposed to play queen b3. That's my lack of knowledge of this variation. But still, it doesn't look too good for white. artificial. But I mean, this guy it's out of control. I mean, what is he like, winning the tournament? He should be winning the tournament. He actually lost 2 games. How could he lose? Who would he possibly lose against? He lost against Gabix and then Florian. So this guy's like a bullet player whose basic strength is speed. And he's got a very predictable opening repertoire. But he's nowhere as strong as that last guy. I mean, this is like a normal human. My last opponent is like a unbeatable monster. Actually, I wouldn't mind sacrificing a pawn. Probably. Maybe I should play e4. Change the game here. It's not so bad. Castle queenside. No, maybe the last guy, I played him in real life. He wasn't that scary. His rating isn't that high. He shouldn't be like 5-0 against me in Blitz when he's not even an IM. I don't really like playing people online. I don't think he'd have like a 5-0 score against me in a real life Blitz tournament. But suddenly some people seem unbelievably stronger online than they are in real life. Of course, you never know like who you're really playing. People have their friends play on their accounts and stuff. Like most of my Hungarian friends wouldn't do that, you know, but I don't know this guy. These guys are pretty honest this tournament for the most part, but he's one of the only players who's not really from round here. Though he plays on one of the teams. He played on Schieberspieler's team, actually. So which way do we take? We take with the H pawn. I don't want to give up the E3 square. It's a weird game. I mean, I feel like I'm just better positionally. White's just better because the black's bishop is bad. Which one? Both. So which way do we take here? I guess this way. E5 is hanging, we're threatening F4. Yeah, black's in trouble. Queen E7 is a cool move. He did a good job finding the only way to keep his king safe. He's going to defend this now. Maybe not. All right. This is pretty tough. He can't get his rook across to defend. Just gave up. All right, let's pause. So he's human, you know. But that other guy, he's beat me 5-0 for a FIDE Master. It's unbelievable. All right, let's take a timeout and go over that last game. Move 11. Move 11. Where are you, move 11? I don't know if I let that guy slip away there. It felt like he was getting away. All right, anyway. 2-2. 2-2. Profile. Inbox. So move 11 as a game. You're here. What's up? All 11 of you. Where's your submission? Hey, I'd like to look at this game. I don't think move 11, 12, 13 are best by me. Because it's move 11, you're supposed to be like a specialist. You run out of moves at move 11. What are you talking about? The engine says black is slightly better, but after each of those moves goes back to equality. Should I play bishop e7 instead of bishop a6? Alright. So. Move 11. You know what the critical first move is. Thank God it's not the Marazzi. Oh, this is like bringing back memories of my last game. Oh, that... So white takes on c6. I wonder what Kasparov was thinking when he played this against Ivanchuk. 2002? Why would Gary play this? Honestly. It's like a second-rate variation. Seems strange. I don't think I've ever seen Kasparov play against the Accelerated Dragon, though. It seems very out of character. Kasparov normally prefers to play theory, like main lines. That is a weird... Wonder where that game was played. And now... Padron Antoni, I didn't even get to welcome you. Welcome to the stream, man. So... Guys, just a reminder, before it gets late, and we finish up here in about half an hour. Just want to mention everybody tomorrow, of course, we're playing Blitz in the morning, but also we've got 2 streams on Sunday. So the streamer battle, the mega streamer battle, the mega streamer battle is on Sunday at 6:30. Sorry, Sunday at 3 p.m. CEST. Does anybody have a link for the mega streamer battle? Because I'm in the middle of this game. Also, Simul on Sunday at 6:30. What we're supposed to do here is e5. And there's 2 variations. Knight d5, which is recommended by John Donaldson. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. If you could put the link in there to the Mega Streamer Battle so we get some players. Schieberspieler can't play. Gobix, I don't know about him. But I was talking this about move 11 a while back, and it looks like knight g8 is maybe more interesting. Like attempt to play for a win. Donaldson went over that in Accelerated Dragons, actually. But he always made it sound like knight d5 was... That's, you know, not an up-to-date book, but this variation hasn't really changed. The computer says knight g8 is better, and I think, like, you know, move 11 is going by what the engine says. They're both playable. I think knight g8 is a little harder to play. Less dangerous for black. Well, the other variation is just, like, what are you talking about here? What are you referring to? Knight g8. With the bishop e3, knight g8 is less dangerous for black, as opposed to... What are we talking about as opposed to what? Less dangerous for black with the bishop e3 already. Another line without bishop g7. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no bishops. Let's do no bishops. Like here. d4. Takes. Takes. Knight f6. Takes. Takes. e5. No, I mean, this is just kind of like considered bad for black. I played DC a couple games and I got tortured by Sergei Kudrin. I mean, I played this like for a draw a couple of times and I got a half point out of 2. But I think the whole variation is sort of dubious. It's not really a good idea. But I wouldn't compare them really, you know. I would just, it's another thing. That's just not really a good variation for black. This is really just a question of 2 variations. After e5, if you want to play knight d5 or knight g8. I feel like knight d5 is actually safer than knight g8, but knight g8 may be a better winning attempt. It's more complicated. Anyway, so your opponent played bishop d3. This is bad, really bad. Castles. And then castles. And so here's the typical scenario where like the computer suggests that d5 is the best move. I agree. I don't mind this move here. There are some variations where you're liquidating all the stuff and then it's like drawish. But this isn't really drawish. I had a game with someone on our stream with this. Someone played bishop d4 against me, I thought. It's tricky because this position can happen actually with colors reversed in the English. Very similar sort of scenarios. The question is, can white maintain control over e5 or not? Is it possible for white to maintain the e5? If you get an e5, then you're just good. You're gonna just roll, so riding with Biden after queen d6 or not. f4. That's my concern, you know, that he nails down the e5 square. The engine says, there's still some problems here. Rook b8, your b2 pawn, maybe rook b4. Anyway, I think that d5 is a good move. It's objectively like the best. I'm not afraid to play that, and I don't think it's drawish. So, objectively, it's a totally legit way for black to play after castles. Don't hesitate to play that. It's not a bad move. You have winning chances against anybody. You play d6, which is solid, but it's going to be a little bit more passive, you know. I get a lot of people who play knight takes c6 randomly in the accelerated dragon at various positions. Also against the classical Sicilian. I get it almost every other day. They just randomly take on c6 and play bishop d3 and castle kingside with f4. It's such a standard reaction. So now normally h3. Although this isn't maybe the greatest position because the b2 pawn is awkward. White would be better off with maybe bishop c4, bishop b3. So he doesn't play h3. Your particular question was about move 11, right? But you missed knight g4 here. That's why I like h3. It's not clear how strong knight g4 is, though. Like, white has moves. Bishop g5 or something. Your opponent is playing just like this FM played against me in Rapid in February, Istvan Piroshka. You know, the guy's like good enough to know that this is rubbish with white, but he's like still playing it. A5's typical move that I will play sometimes. To grab a little space. I mean, it's not insane to consider bishop a6. Trading that off at some point. But knight g4, what happens if bishop g5? I'm a little concerned about that. I mean, I'm typically playing knight d7 and knight e5 or knight c5 in certain circumstances. You don't want them to play f4 e5. I had an interesting game a little while back with someone where I did like knight here, queen e2, knight e5, and then I played like maybe bishop e6, I think. It was possible in that game, like white's bishop was actually on b3, and I think he like exchanged bishops on e6, but I just took toward the center, have more central pawns. And oftentimes you might have to capture that bishop on d3, which feels like a concession. You just have to have faith in your position that your two bishops may be an advantage in the long run. So let's see what you did. Knight d7, I like this. It's a little passive, but fine. Yeah, I mean, then like white just makes this utterly random move. Knight e2. It might not be that stupid. He wants to play c4 and replace the knight and pretend it's like the Marazzi or something. But it's extremely slow. So, one important idea I'll show you from the Scheveningen that I know, like theoretically, if you could get a position like this, where white does like c4, c5, and the idea is to lock down the d4 square forever. So we're actually going to do knight e5, knight c6, knight d4, or possibly knight b8, knight c6, knight d4. And what you want to do is maybe even eventually play e5. So you just get like an eternal, you play for like an eternal piece on d4, and ultimately maybe just like a protected pass pawn. The protected pass pawn could be an endgame advantage forever, you know, for the rest of your natural life. BBB. So that's something to think about. You got to be careful when you commit your central pawns. But if he's going to do c4, I like c5. There may be other options. You could probably play like knight e5 and keep your options open. You might have d5. You might have c5. You can play both. You can crack him in the center too. But bishop e7 is interesting. This is an arbitrary move. You know, I'm not sure that's best. I often play stuff like a5, sort of neutral. Preventing b4, that might be annoying. They might play b4. It's not a stupid idea here for white to actually play b4. Let's say you played rook b8, the suggestion of that. I mean, b4 seems like a reasonable move. To me. Not a bad idea for white. So that pawn isn't backward. Alright, let's see what happens. Move 11. I like a5. It's a standard idea. This is what I've been talking about. And after a3, I mentioned bishop a6, but it's not my preference here. We're biased by the engine. I mean, this is always a solid move. You can reinforce e5 while like connecting your rooks. It's most important they never get in like f4, e5 and break up your structure. Queen c7 is reasonable. You also have d5 in some positions. You could try it, although it simplifies. This seems like the best. Like, just go for his bishop, and I guess then bishop a6. If you like say he plays f4, I don't know if it's safer to do like h3. Maybe this is tactically unsound. Let's say he plays h3. What's our next move? We probably just hack it off. And then depends on what he does. If he takes with the queen, we have bishop a6. Very strong, obviously. If he takes with the pawn, still bishop a6 is pretty good. But honestly, you know, it's not so easy to win such positions. It could be a very weak player playing white, holding you to a draw, sort of vacuuming the board, trying to play trading pieces of like bishop h6. Black is slightly better here. c5. Your bishop trained on d3. It's a little like a closed Sicilian type of thing. Bishop a6. So I think this is a mistake to trade your bishop for his bishop. You're certainly not worse under any circumstances. But I would rather trade the knight for his bishop than the bishop for the bishop. Your knight isn't that great. Yeah. So now obviously he should like take here on a6. So 13 I have, I don't like move 12, honestly. Yeah, definitely knight e5. In most situations, by the way, like in almost any other situation, this wouldn't be that strong, but he literally has nowhere to move the bishop. Like otherwise you'd be putting your knight in harm's way with like f4. It just happens that he puts his knight on e2, and his bishop literally can't like retreat back to e2. If it could, I would play bishop e2, and maybe your knight in e5 is questionable. But this particular position, you're guaranteed to get it. So. But this is weird, like bishop a6, here. I mean, this is the typical game where like bishop c5. You can play bishop takes d3, but I'm not liking this that much. You guys have probably seen me do similar stuff, but this particular position doesn't look good for you. After takes. The structure is very fixed. I think that white is probably better here. Your static pawns aren't really good with the bishop, and he can play e5. Maybe shut you down. So I'm not really excited about this move 11. I think I played knight c5 in similar positions when I was pressed for time, but that wouldn't be my choice. You're just not excited about knight takes e3, I know. But we have a slight advantage. It's really all we can get, all we can ask for, unfortunately. We can't really ask for more. The question is, do you have an advantage here at all? After knight c5, you might be worse. So here you probably have to take with a knight. I mean, at least you have a good pawn island. The engine says that white is better. But, okay, whatever. Your knight's a little misplaced. You have a solid pawn chain. But I don't know about this. It's hard to believe like a lower rated player or something would be able to resist playing bishop takes c5. This is quite solid for white, I would think. Queen e3 or something like that. Here you're actually better. I'm surprised. Well, e5, okay. This move makes sense. You'll probably have to play f6. And I don't think you're lost, but I don't think, your winning chances are too good here. That's the problem. You can do something like queen e5. It's only equal. So you simplify it a little bit too much, and your structure is very inflexible after that. So I like this. I would probably think about a5 first, by the way, because e5 is not a threat. I want to stop b4. You're actually stopping b4, though. It's alright. Knight d7 is fine. This move is fine. This move I don't like. And then this move I don't like. And then this move, well, I'm just not sold on this bishop takes c5 thing. I don't really like it. I don't like compromising your structure too much, so barring queen b6, I guess you probably should just pull your knight back to d7 here. What's the best move? Best move. That's it, man. You just have to admit you made a mistake or whatever. But you're so compact. As I said, the Dragon Benoni, Benko, whatever you call it, Benko Dragon structure is so compact, man. You have a lot of possibilities here. He has the two islands. There could be targets. His attack on the king side isn't that serious. I would rather be black, honestly. So I don't mind knight d7. Yeah, I don't think it outweighs the structural issue. I think it's a legit exchange, and it just makes the position so static. You don't really want static structures with the bishop. Static structures are better for the knight. I feel like, you want to have breaks with your bishop. So you're lucky that you're not worse here. Anyway, let's see that. Let's how the game finished up. So bishop takes c5, d takes c5, and we've got this actually happened now. Queen d3 on the rook, and you've got to break out at some point with f6. It doesn't mean you have to do it right away. I mean, there's a small chance for other plans. h5, bishop h6, e6, bishop f8, bishop e7. You could try to recirculate your bishop. But since you have no weaknesses, I mean, you know, this move is something we're going to try to play. Obviously, here he has queen here. So I really liked your queen on d8 going to d5. Now we have a bit of a problem. Like, this guy's... I don't know, he really ought to put his queen on c4. It seems like it guards c2, it pressures this diagonal, it stops s6, guards c5. You can kick him off with rook d4, but first you have to find a way to protect your pawn. That's kind of awkward. And plus he's got this coming. Maybe not because of rook d4. But how's it going to work? You know, like, how do you defend this pawn? Now rook d5. You're probably still okay, but I don't think that black is better. Now, Stockfish calls it 0.7. c3 taking away the d4. Bishops, man, you need to have pawn breaks. It's very important. If it gets locked structure, the knight's going to be stronger than the bishop. You're running a very serious risk here of being worse. So if this was like a strong master, you'd probably lose with double pawns. What do we got? So this is not the game. Queen e3 was played, not as good as blockading. Plus you've got c4, obviously. The pawn actually being able to move is a factor. So that's something to think about. I mean, maybe c4. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's time for desperate measures, man. Sacking a pawn with f6. I like this. The time has come, move 11, for f6. If e6, you have lots of stuff. It's really nasty lineup there with bishop d4. If e6, f5. If he takes, you take, well, you take probably with the bishop. And the game is okay, you have enough activity, maybe. I don't know, even here, I'm still not 100% confident. I don't like the fact that you don't have a lot of breaks. And the structure is very static. You're probably slightly worse. 0.7 according to the engine. But I'm curious about this position. If f6 is the right move. It is the right move. I can just kind of feel it. This is funny though. c4, the other move I mentioned, is interesting. I thought it wasn't that good. But something about rook d5 I didn't like. I'm trying to understand what it is. Well, you're not breaking, and you're possibly going to get hit by c4. I'm not sure if he should do it right away. Knight e2 is impossible. And you've got like a4, but he's got knight e2 coming back, so you're going to have a problem. Can you play f6? Is it too late? Do you have other moves? Maybe something to play rook d2. Got to get active. Good. And now it's too late for him. Like, you're active enough or not? You're pretty active here. And that's just like absurd. I was wondering about knight c3. Anything for my kingdom for a knight on e4. So obviously you can put the rook on d3, but white has queen e1. So this might be his key. I was looking at this and then this, and I wasn't sure. If white can get in here, you'd be good, but you're too active here. So you just took over the file. I guess white has to try something else. So b3 is a loser. It's very logical. So what happens here if knight e4, rook c4? He doesn't care about losing that pawn. It means nothing. You know, this doubled pawn is absolutely not a big deal. The problem is this pin. You could potentially pin him on the diagonal. And that's a serious problem. But maybe not. Like, he could just guard it. Rook there, rook there, rook there. And then, you know, it's a game. I'm not really sure. I still think you're okay. Probably active enough here. So, guys, we're going to finish up this game. Queen f2, very awkward movement for the queen. Pinned to his own knight. And now the queen finds a way in. I feel like white might be able to hold this ending now, but his knight is inferior to the bishop. It looks pretty bad, actually. White's just totally dominating. King f2, then rook a2. Okay, I don't feel like g5 changes everything. I mean, what about this? Is it not enough? f6 is probably more pivotal, right? Instead of g5, f6. More immediate devastation to ensue after f6. g5 can be met by g3. Computer is unsure, but it's leaning toward f6. No, back to g5. No, f6. Okay, they're both natural breaks, but my point is, like, there's no easy answer for f6, but with g5 you can play g3. Maybe that's the point, though. You have, like, rook h3. They're both playable. g3, take, take. Of course, you have to watch this file. You have this move, rook h3, an additional target. But now you play bishop h6. I really like that other variation. Where you play f6, he probably has to take. I mean, I don't know. What is he going to do? If e6, f5 again? And that pawn is weak. This looks horrible for white. He has to take, I would think. And you take with the bishop. And you're threatening like bishop d4 check. This seems even better than g5. You're like +3. Nimzovich said attack the base of the pawn chain. This is an awesome move. The computer wants to play f5, fixing the pawns on the right color. You can still play that. Okay, this is just over now. That bishop is seriously better than a knight. The Gulko bishop. Move 11 might remember that I call it the Gulko bishop, but usually we're talking about classical Sicilians. Yeah, there'd be a funny way. Let's see. Bishop takes e5 is also good. Oh. That's why bishop h2 is stronger than bishop e5, because this is mate now. Okay, nice game. Guys, I'm going to finish up the stream. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to be back on Friday with more instructive chess, blitz, and blitz. I'm going to be accepting challenges tomorrow at 11 a.m. CEST. We're going to be playing everyone who has an established account with more than 100 games. Thanks for joining us here for a subscriber stream. Thank you guys for the gift subs and donations. Very kind, Mr. Slowhand, Move 11, and everybody for being subscribers. I hope you learned something. I know I learned something, so I'm sure you did too. And Sunday, streamer battle, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sunday, simul, 6:30 CST. Again, tomorrow, Friday, the next stream is 11 a.m. CST. On behalf of Ponda, I'll let him speak for himself. Hey everybody, that beer was really good. I was drinking it when Sladgie wasn't looking. Oh, I'm a little bit tipsy now. So anyway, see you tomorrow, Friday morning, 11 a.m. CST. Tell your friends about the stream, okay? We're gonna be partners. Bye bye. Bye bye, guys.